Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for coming. If we have a roll call, please. Clerk.
Trustee Detmer.
Here.
Trustee Monet.
Oh, turn your mic. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, mine's
yeah.
on. Is it okay?
I did. There's nothing coming through.
Oh, can't hear much.
Yeah.
Any of that working? Well, either one of them. Oh, that one's dead. The red lights. So try that one. Please.
So, testing, test though.
I better go back for an adjustment.
Well, I can check it, but there's not much I can do about it.
Does yours work, Green?
Yeah, I think so.
No.
You don't hear mine either?
It's working.
Hello. I saw something. Constant.
Oh, it's working now.
You know what helps?
Did you turn it on?
Turn the main.
Okay. All right, we have two trustees here.
Yes, here.
Do we have a supervisor here?
Yes, we do.
We do, and a clerk is here. And treasurer up is excused.
Okay, just some housekeeping. In front of you, you got a packet with a paper clip. That's the consent agenda. Then there's another stack, short one of some board reports. And then on the other side of you should be the agenda and the things that are related to the agenda when we start going through it. So if you leave the consent agenda in that paperclip, it won't get mixed in with other stuff. Or not. Okay, again, thanks for being here. We'll start off with the board reports and any public questions to the elected officials or department heads. Starting with the supervisor. And I also have ordinance officer. I'll do the ordinance officer first. I've received 2 calls concerning our short-term rental progress and looking for information on such. And 1 call complaining about a different Lyon Township person. This is a Lyon Township downstate. It sounded like a Grinch got loose down there or something, but by the time I slowed him down and said, you got the wrong place, she was irate. Supervisor, I was off for over a week doing this. I spent the next week playing catch up on the daily activities of this township. There's hardly any days that go as planned. Most things that pop up land right on my desk, and that's fine. We lost the work session due to illness and no quorum. We did have a special board meeting yesterday with a quorum to move some items along relevant to the Park and Rec Committee recommendations, preparing for our ice rink to be functional. However, the weather's not cooperating and our planned grand opening for tomorrow had to be canceled. At this point, to be announced. The quorum approved spending $600 from the Park and Rec budget on used skates and equipment to be made available to the public at Park 27. The quorum also approved spending $3,200 on a pre-built shed to not only store the equipment, the ice rink equipment, but provide a sheltered seat area to change from skates to boots and back again. This building will also be moved and used to store other sports equipment donations in spring, summer, and fall. If any of you are familiar with Markey, They have a building and that's what they use it for. We're gonna try and use it for all 4 seasons. As always, if you have any questions for me, please use the supervisor complaint forms or the ordinance violation complaint forms. Both are available in the office and on the website. And have a very safe holiday season, all of you. You know, as much as we may differ, let's all get through this with no major problems for anybody or their families. Anybody got any questions for me in regards to any of that? Okay, then we can move on to Trustee Detmer. Or I'm sorry, the treasurer who is absent. And then the clerk.
Okay, this is the report up to today, December 17th. Payroll and payables are handled in a timely manner as they usually are, updating and the filing of all contracts and minutes of all meetings and committees. I'm still not receiving all the committee minutes in a timely manner, not for publication, but for the clerk's records. Daily interaction with the treasurer's office usually is a healthy one, not always. We disagree on things, but I think that's normal. Weekly checking and filing of expense reports and timesheets, receiving Parks and Rec in a more timely manner, more improvement necessary, so more time can be spent considering the recommendations. They've improved a great deal. Last month's filing of a workman's comp audit resulted in a very big refund from them, thanks to the hard work of Courtney Holtzel. He worked a lot of hours getting that audit prepared, sent it in, and they called back and said, we have some issues. And the issues were, we had overpaid some things, so we got a nice refund back. The phone calls still happen daily, almost always with a great result. The clerk's office wishes you all a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season. Questions?
Yeah, any questions for Clerk Byrd? Okay, we will move on. It would be Trustee Detmer who is next.
To finish the liquor inspections for the month in Lyon Township. For this month. I've attended a couple of planning commission meetings. Most every day I walk Izzy the Wonder Dog through the neighborhoods and talk to the people that are out there. Occasionally I deliver sourdough sandwich bread to my neighbors. All is right with the world.
Cool. Anybody got questions for Trustee Detmer? Hearing none, we will move on to Trustee Monet.
Yeah, good evening. Minus the days being sick, I've spent the last month spending more hours than I'd care to admit researching 10 years worth of court cases, state Supreme Court rulings, appellate court cases, and short-term rental ordinances around the state of Michigan. And when the time comes, because it's coming very soon, I know Garish Township already has their public hearing scheduled. Our public hearing is scheduled as well. I have a lot of information to offer the people, both good and bad, in my opinion, concerning short-term rentals and what the state is trying to do, has not been able to do, and there'll be a lot of information forthcoming. And by the way, everyone have a nice holiday.
Questions for Trustee Monet?
Well, I'm gonna present it here in a public forum. And most of it comes down to what the state has tried to do with House Bill 5438 in June of 24, the appellate court cases and other things, and then other things that I've put together working with legal scholars I know, and the potential problems I'm going to present that I'm going to introduce to Garish Township as well, because it's not right.
For the sake of it, when it's a public hearing, it'll be video.
Yeah, and I can't speak at the public hearing, so I'll be introducing it at probably our work session. Yeah, you're welcome. Absolutely.
Okay, next would be maintenance. We do not have a maintenance or a fire department report, though I know the fire department would be slow. I don't think we've had anything. Maintenance, I've been working a lot of maintenance lately. There's a lot going on with winter. The plow truck broke down. Now we got it back. We have new equipment ordered for the cemetery that should be coming early next week. Not much I can add to that without him being here. He would know more details. Okay. Any general questions for me I can pass on to maintenance or fire department? Great. Next will be the sexton. Okay, any questions for our sexton? Who again, I hear good things about every person who interacts with him. I couldn't be happier. Okay. So we tried this at our last meeting. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna make a motion to accept and file. Oh, I'm sorry, you caught me right on the end of that. Parks and Rec, Leanne was not able to get here. I'm knee deep in that stuff too. The focus right now is the ice rink. And we were unable to pull it off in time for this grand opening. Some of it's a learning experience, some of it, the weather is just not helping. Biggest problem we have is 1.5 feet of snow sitting on all the ground. The ground's not frozen, so if you can imagine throwing an ice cube in a bowl of water, it's like backfalling right into the area we cleaned up. So it's going to turn into a waiting game for Mother Nature and us pulling as much snow as we can off of that. The rest of Parks and Rec, other than that, is kind of, slowing down for the rest of the winter. The main issue, though, is the 5-year plan. The survey input was completed at our meeting on Tuesday. We had, I think, 47 of them submitted by then. They still trickle in. So Amanda, the grant writer, was able to incorporate that right into the 5-year plan for the grant for Warehouser and for the DNR. So where previously it had listed things as suggestions, now they are listed as the residents' support, which carries a lot more weight when you're trying to do the grants. Amanda's done a great job on that stuff. So we will enter into, I believe there are 4 separate meetings we have to have over the next month that are either public hearings or related to all of the grant writing that we're going through right now. Can only hope for the best. I know we did get another 1,000 from Warehouser and we got the ice rink money. So push, push, push. Survey was important. If there's anything else in specific you wanted to ask me about it, or
Is the master plan online for people?
it's either there or real close to being there.
It's thick, but it's well.
This is, there's a public copy. We have to do it the same way we did similar things, where there's a public copy available, then 30 days to review. So we'll go through that whole process. But it's in the hopper. I don't know if there was anything else specific you had. Okay. All right, and then we will move over to. I'm going to make a motion to accept and file the board and department reports as presented. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion on it? From my end, again, this is kind of a formality to make sure that they get filed and actually filed with the consent agenda on a monthly basis. If there's any other discussion from the board. Okay, go ahead. You got something?
No, this isn't the consent agenda though, correct?
No.
Okay.
So end of discussion. All those in favor signify by, let me read it again. Make a motion to accept and file the board and department reports as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed the same. The motion carries 4-0. Okay, next is approval of the consent agenda. So that's, everything is in these paper clips here, for the paper clip. But let me read off what is in there. So that should include the invoice check register from 11/21/25 to 12/18/25. This stuff is all over on that table too. The check register report from 11/21/25 to 12/17/25. Minutes from the work session 11/12/25. The board meeting 11/19/25. And a special board meeting 11/25/25. And the department reports will end up going with this, but right now we're dealing with, that is what is in the consent agenda. So I will make a motion that the board approve this meeting's consent agenda as stated. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, let's do the discussion.
Yeah, I have discussion. Consent agenda by nature, self-explanatory that there is no discussion usually because you consent to it. Therefore, it's just on the table as such. So I'm requesting at this time that the invoice register and the check register be removed from the consent agenda and moved over to the formal agenda for open discussion because there are some things that I wish to discuss on it.
Okay. Is there any other board comments? Okay, I'm gonna state the thing, read it again.
We're going to move those to the agenda.
Not without a vote. If this doesn't pass, then we move into something like that. Do you want to put a motion out that we do that?
Well, yeah, basically I was leaving. All right, then I'd like to motion the board that because I do have discussion issues with the invoice register and the check register that, per instructions I've been given as well, that we remove those two items and put them into the general agenda for open discussion and approval, as opposed to in the consent agenda. And if not, that's fine, but then I'll have to discuss it now.
Well, if it's open for discussion, can we move on with this one, but do it in the future, or do you need to
Well,
include this one? I'm asking.
Consent agenda, yeah, yeah, I need a second for this.
me personally, I would not get a second for that this time, but maybe in the future.
Yeah.
Well, you made another motion to be specific on this. Right. I can finish ours first if you would like. No, I'm not going to amend ours. I'll read the one I read. I'll read again, and if it fails, it fails. This.
All right, then just to make it easier this time, then I still have discussion and we don't have to. I'll rescind my motion and I will go into open discussion for the problems I have with the check register and the invoice register this time around, if that's acceptable.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. All right, but in the future, I'd like to be known that, yeah, consent agenda by nature means we consent. There is no discussion. So at some point in time, if there are items that need to have open discussion, as explained to me by MTA and others, you remove them from the consent agenda and put them into the main agenda for open discussion. All right, so then if we're in the consent agenda, then I have some questions. I was just given a copy of this today, so I haven't had as much time as I would have liked to go through this properly, but some things I did note. The board approved yesterday $3,200 for a pre-built shed payable to Pre-Built Shed LLC dated 12/17/25. The amount due is $0. The status of it is paid and it has been, and it is, has not been journalized yet. That one has. However, I noticed on the invoice register, there is a check due to come out tomorrow for another $3,200 to Pre-Built Shed LLC. The amount due on that balance is $3,200. The status is open and it has not been journalized, but the check is set to be made. So I'd like an explanation since I wasn't at the special meeting. Are we paying $6,400 because there's another check outstanding? And where was the $3,200 originally allocated?
check is actually sitting over in the office. The intent was to try and get that building delivered today before we realized we were gonna have to fold on the grand opening tomorrow. So this is kind of started actually last Friday. So when the grand opening kind of collapsed, I talked to the guy on the phone, he's bringing it at 9 o'clock tomorrow, so it's paid on delivery. That's the only thing I know. I don't know if 2 checks were written, but the cost,
Well, according to the invoice register, there's 2 invoices. One has been paid and one is open, set to be paid tomorrow.
paid, meaning the check is written and it's in an envelope. But it's not in his hands. But yeah, technically it got written and it's waiting for his pickup.
But I don't know if a second one though,
Well, there's 2 of them listed in here. One's been paid, it says. I mean, if I'm looking, if I were a citizen or a resident looking at this, one's been paid, the other one's left open. So why are there 2 invoices? And there's 2 separate invoice numbers. So I just, since I wasn't here, I would just like some clarification for the people. Is it $6,400 we're spending, or is it $3,200 straight across the board? I don't know.
Do now, it's 3,200.
right?
I don't know what the error, I don't know what caused.
Neither do I.
But you do see it, correct, on there?
Oh, I did not see it.
Yeah, it's on the invoice register towards the bottom.
It's a different date.
Yeah, one was paid today, it says, and it has been journalized, which means it has been paid. That's what that means. I checked. And then there's another one going out tomorrow for $3,200. And the amount due on that one says $3,200. Status means it's open, which means it has not been paid yet and has not been journalized.
Yeah, that's just some sort of an error.
Yeah, it's an error.
Okay. All right.
The pre-built shed was 3,200 and that the check is written and it's gonna be delivered tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Well, that takes care of that one. All right. And I'm not going to go too in depth because Treasurer Hops isn't here today. But I do have a question, reviewing this with a pay amount, the amount of $1,400, invoice number 11809 to Rebecca Reagan on December 9th. Now, my understanding is, I think it's been 2 months now, this board passed a motion to allow Rebecca Reagan to stay on. Treasurer Hops wasn't quite sure how many hours she would need, but it was something like 50 to 60 hours. Haven't felt, well, I didn't look it up and I own that, but it was 50 or 60 hours. She is well past the 50 or 60 hours. The board never put forth another motion to keep her on any longer. And I'm curious to know, for your sakes, it's your money, why Rebecca Reagan is still in the office working when her hours have never been reallocated or reapproved by this board.
We did, and I'm not sure that you were here. We did talk about this and decided and voted to continue that she keep working here as training and doing booking.
Yeah.
And I believe that it was added then as needed budgetingly, but I believe it was added. I can't remember if you were here.
It's in one of those minutes.
It couldn't have been, because the last time I was here concerning Rebecca, Kevin wanted to keep her on for no more than 50 to 60 hours, and he said that would be it.
Yeah, that was, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
And we ended up talking about it against, so.
Okay. Very well.
Yeah, it's in one of the minutes, Lindsay.
All right. And then one final thing, unless this changed too, and I wasn't aware. Going through payroll that, and I'm not picking on anyone. Trust me, I'm not. This is just all numbers. For some reason, this board approved the deputy treasurer hours. I do believe it still holds true, up to 20 hours a week, up to no more, at $20 an hour. And for some reason, on this last month's payroll register, she is $1,000 over that mark. She has made more money than the supervisor. This board never approved for her to make that kind of money and never approved for her to have all those extra hours. And I think the people deserve an explanation of why her hours exceed by an extraordinary amount above and beyond even the supervisor's wages.
Not sure if there's an error in there, but we did have the meeting clarifying that the language was and as needed.
Even for Teresa Ross,
Oh, Teresa, I thought you were talking about the deputy.
He said deputy treasurer.
deputy treasurer.
No, I don't know why it's that.
Because at 20 hours a week times 4 weeks is 80 hours times $20 an hour. The most you can make is $1,600 gross. Her pay for the last 30 days was $2,300. That's a big difference.
I'm not sure what, good catch. And we work here every day with her. She doesn't work any more hours than.
Yeah.
Other than, one thing that might be is tax season, getting the tax mailings out, all of that, there was certainly a lot of hours.
And you know what? I'm not disagreeing that there's extra work, but the board never approved it. There's my problem. I don't care if the place burns down and she's cleaning the walls. You have to approve the money to be allocated. You cannot just let somebody run over the hours and keep on paying them and paying them. These are taxpayer dollars. We do not have the right to at will spend their money without approval from this board. And I do care if the building burns, by the way. So I would just, for the record, that, I have noted that the hours are going way above and beyond which was approved by this board, myself included.
Well, I certainly hear your opinion and you're well stated. I would suggest that you call him tomorrow and ask him.
Yes, and I'm not picking on anyone. It's just an observation. Yeah.
There's something there, but I do know that tax season, there's days that they're sitting around here stuffing envelopes. There's a lot of things.
Well, and it's very easily rectified. All this board would have to do is that for tax season, they allocate that she's allowed to work the extra hours. We allocate the money appropriately.
I hear
Done
your
deal.
message. Hear your message loud and clear, sir.
All right. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Good catch it. Now, a couple things there. Is there any other discussion from the board then? Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that the board approve the meeting consent agenda consisting of the invoice check register 11/21 to 12/18/25. Check register report 11/21 to 12/17. Minutes from the work session 11/12, board meeting 11/19, special board meeting 11/25, along with any department reports. Of course, I think it's clear there will not be a double payment on $3,200, So on that, do we have a second?
You had one before me.
Yeah, coming back around. Al.
Okay.
And then, any further discussion on it? And then we'll end the discussion. Okay, we drifted into money on that. I would prefer to do a roll call vote on it. If you would, please.
Okay, sure. Let's see, where did we start? We started with that much. So we'll start with trustee Monet.
No.
Supervisor Bertrand.
Yes.
Clerk Kern, yes. Trustee Detmer.
Yes.
Okay, and then the motion carries. Read right aloud. Okay, that brings us to approval of the meeting agenda with additions or modifications.
No.
What I missed? Board
Board
comments. Sorry, I
comments.
wrote so much on there. I couldn't look right up. Board comments. Anybody want to start? You go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm just looking for a couple. No, you guys can start whenever you want.
I don't really have any. We've been here over a year. I would like to say that a lot of things have smoothed out. I like that.
Okay, well, I have a couple issues. We go over the time sheets and the supervisor of the various people, you sign most of them, but we go over them regularly before those checks are going to print. My issue right now is with the fire chief, and we made a motion. Well, it was a motion by a previous board way back in 2002 that he was going to be appointed as a probationary fire chief from lieutenant back in 2002. He was given 3 years to get up to snuff with all his paperwork and stuff. Well, that time was up September 21st. And we kind of made a new agreement with him and say, it's gonna be a while before you get all your classes done, but we'll give you to the end of the year to get the one class done before January 1st. I have not seen a certificate from the fire chief that says he has done that. I heard some stories that it may have been pushed back to January, but it plainly says on a motion, he does not get the new year of 2026 unless he fulfills that one requirement that we asked. He doesn't get the new year, and I think I'll make a motion in January if he hasn't supplied that. And we'll have to do something else. He may go back to probationary chief at that time, at least in my opinion. That's what my motion's going to say. Yeah, I'm not very pleased. We gave him a lot of time. Heck, he said 3.5 years now to come up to snuff, and we only asked him to take one class before January, and as far as I know, he has not done that. So that doesn't sit very well with us, and that was a 3-person contribution, and we already talked about this more than once, and they said, oh, no, we give him a chance, go on, do your stuff. So he's had another 4 months since our meeting in August, and nothing's happened. So there's my 2 cents. There's the clerk.
Clerk Pern, if I may, maybe the board should request a formal response from Chief Holder to explain why, where he's at right now, what's his position, and maybe why this has happened. So we have something on record, a formal.
I have asked him in front of witnesses for the last month and a half. He set up a time for himself that was good in November. So I figured this was all done, but I didn't hear anything. Then I didn't hear anything in December. And I says, well, certainly if I've asked him, but I've asked other things too, and I haven't gotten the answers I was looking for.
Okay.
So yes,
There, yeah,
I can certainly do that.
it can't hurt. So then it's on record why this
No,
hasn't happened, or what, is there some extenuating circumstance? But at least one-on-one, I agree is great, but I think a formal response coming from the board might be needed
Okay.
at this point in time.
yep, that's fine.
Are you talking about trying to do a response today or next month as you were talking?
No, next month will be something different. I'll try to get a response from him formally, before this year's over. Why not do it tomorrow if he's available? I don't know when he is available.
And you're suggesting a motion to do that?
If it's not now, then if
No,
that time in January, I would think, it's not to put pressure on anyone. It just would make sense that if informally, in a sense, if it's not working, maybe a formal request from the board, because, we know who we are, I guess, that it would put it on the record of what is going on, what's his position, what are his intentions, and then it gives the board as a whole a greater idea and expectation of what to expect down the road.
And as soon as I hear something, you guys will hear something. I'm disappointed not to have had an answer by this time already.
It's fair, it's reasonable.
Yeah, I thought we were reasonable in August when we said, okay, take one class in the next 4 months. Yeah, okay.
Hey, is there any other comments from the board, just in general for board comments?
I'd love to talk, but I can't. Okay.
Okay, we'll move on. To the approval of the meeting agenda with additions or modifications from my end. This agenda was created Friday. You can strike 5 and 6. Both of those
Well,
things.
do we need the motion first, please?
Okay.
I'll second it. You made the motion, I'll second.
I'm making a motion that includes modifications, so I have to state modifications.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the agenda as modified. From my perspective, in case there's others, it is to strike 5 and 6 because these were both taken care of in the interim period.
What about 9?
It's 9.
ice cream company.
Yeah, there's no vote on that. I just wanted to say that we're not likely till after the holidays as far as the grand opening.
On number 2, we have, perhaps there's gonna be a little discussion. We've already published those dates.
I have, yeah, you'll have information. I got information from the attorney and
Well, we
we
have,
vote.
those dates are fine, but we found out that 3 out of the 4 surrounding townships are also not open on the 26th and the 2nd, which are Fridays, which are 3-hour days anyways. And on our calendar in there, we have 5 people that weren't coming in anyways on one of those days. The library is also closed.
I got that, but are you talking about taking it off of the agenda?
Well,
It's on the agenda to look at the dates and either approve it or not.
all right. So I just want to tell you, Garish is off for 2 whole weeks.
Okay,
That's
so
our closest one, so
let me not lose it here.
we're gonna put some addition on. All right, fine.
No, I'm, for me, striking 5 and 6.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be any additions because we're missing a member.
Right.
Does anybody else have anything that they don't want on there?
What does missing a member have to do with it?
To change the agenda, I've been operating that all 5 of us need to be there.
State statute dictates that only applies to a special meeting. At a board meeting, all you need is a quorum. You can add as many things as you'd like.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I would like to suggest that we strike number 1. It's redundant. At our last meeting last month, I remember specifically asking Patty Dennis, because she had it in her hand, did the audience want the resolution to be read aloud? And they said that they were fine with it because they had all copies of it. So I don't know why we're voting again. And it even says right here, we voted 5-0.
To look up, there's a number 30 written on there. Second page, that was the hang up. We took, after we approved this, the 2 attorneys in their final conclusions
Okay.
decided that we needed an amount of money.
Did not know that.
Yeah, well, that's when we get to, yeah, you're right. It doesn't make sense until you start talking
All
about
right.
that.
Very good. Thank you.
And you'll love how Phil Check phrased the amount of money.
Okay. Very good. Then.
Okay, so anything else in here looking like you just flat out don't want it? Most, the ones that are just there are just statements I'm gonna make, Okay, so hearing no more, I will make a motion that we approve the agenda as modified, which was striking 5 and 6. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I second.
Okay, is there any further discussion? End the discussion. So all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed the same. And that motion carries. So in your file here that had the agenda on the top, underneath the agenda, the first thing there should be what you just had in your hands there, Mr. Monet.
Yep.
And again, I am no attorney. This is information was funneled to me that what we needed to do was have a number. So I think that's an addition actually, and I don't like the fact that we have to, but this may mean a change in the resolution and be more problems down the road. So the number that is estimated that we should be splitting was 2 checks in the total of $30. In Phil's estimation, he said it is likely, as of today, it is likely that that number will remain. So we're basically saying we're splitting $30 between the 2 townships. For whatever the legal aspect was, they wanted that in. So as of right now, it's $30.
And my understanding is because the people that donated passed away, so those checks were just left outstanding.
Don't know. So kind of just running it through the hopper again with the $30 on there.
Okay.
So I would make a motion then that we approve that the amount $30 be added to both, or to be both accurate as of this date and added to the agreement per our attorney's request. Do we have a second on that?
I'll second.
Okay, is there any further discussion or any discussion at all?
Yeah, so basically, per the attorney's advice, it sounds like they want us to amend our original resolution.
Didn't even get into it, but yeah.
Okay, they want us to amend and then now
Might
state
have to
that there's,
Whole dance.
okay. Thank you.
So, you've seen that. But
Yeah.
you have a copy of that. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, really, the $30 was missing and apparently him and Scott has both got a problem. Or it was presented to them in a way that you got a problem.
Right.
Fix it.
So are we officially, is the official language for the motion tonight to amend our original resolution to now include $30 to be split evenly?
I wasn't gonna go there. I figured I'd send this to him and then ask him if we need to chase it down.
Then what are we voting on?
The addition of the $30, that whole area was not in here before.
That amends the original resolution.
This was the new resolution. You might as well send them a copy of that and see if that 30 can be added.
Well, sure, can we just amend it right now? I don't understand adding something to a,
This is what he sent me.
yeah,
He said-
this is the original
This is an
resolution.
amount, right?
Those are different.
Yeah, they're different. So if we were gonna amend a resolution, I prefer not to go there today. I wanted to get the information back to them and follow whatever advice they're suggesting. Not that that was a wishful idea.
This is almost, I'd say this is about 95% his language on the new resolution. With only that number missing.
Oh, wait, okay, so I guess I'm really confused. What did we pass last time? That was given us
That
to,
was 16.
yeah, but that was given to us by mutual agreement between Scott Hess and Michael Bela.
No, that was,
That's what I was told at Glua.
That came from them.
okay. It didn't, this came from them. This is.
Which one?
Bela, 17.
This one
You have
from
17?
Bela. Okay,
Yeah,
then what was this we voted on?
that was the old one.
Yeah, I understand that, but
That was 16.
We're talking.
Yeah.
What he sent me to do.
Mm-hmm.
right,
I'm not gonna, I personally don't want to get into the connection with the resolution.
no, that's okay. That's fine. I guess my question is, this to me came from Scott Hess and Michael Bela. That's what I was told by Jim Barnes and everyone else, that they drafted this. So they're,
This right here,
yeah, the one in
yeah,
here, right.
but there's.
So he drafted a new one.
Wait a minute, didn't I include? The letter from him said that they amended it slightly. And I'm gonna guess that that meant that they added that part with the slot to put in the amount of money.
Yeah, we got.
Okay, let me just clarify for the people. I want to make sure I'm not going nuts here. These are two different versions, correct?
Mhm.
Yes,
Okay. Then how come on this version, Great Clerk Kern just handed me, it has a roll call vote of 5-0?
because we already passed that.
Mhm.
But how can it be a different version? If it's a different
Okay.
version, you can't pass something that's not already,
We passed that. What has happened is the attorneys are letting us know we need to do more.
then it's an amendment.
Might be. Right now, he told me this. If you would like to. I'm just uncomfortable with trying to do an amendment when he only asked for this.
Yeah, that's fine. I just don't understand that if both of these have been voted on by state statute, when you vote on something, if you change the language, even one word, you're amending something. And therefore, we should vote for an amendment. And if we voted on these, it seems redundant and pointless to me to vote on the same thing again. Then we shouldn't have a vote on it.
Again, strongly stated, and I hear you.
Wow.
I can only follow the steps that he's suggesting that I follow.
I'm fine with it.
Okay, well, I don't know what you want.
No, you're fine. It just the logic behind it. There is no logic. When-
Logic escapes you, and I don't care about the logic because I'm not an attorney.
yeah.
If this is what they need to have to get this done, that's why it's in front of us right now.
Then it's already been voted on. According to the
I
record.
just made a motion to vote on this one, which has the inclusion of the $30.
Okay, well, this one says, I'm gonna show the people, it's already been voted on 5-0. If you add something to it, you are amending the original resolution. Therefore, you make a motion to add the $30, which is an amendment. Can we revote?
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
17, we already done then, don't move that money.
Suspect that's coming.
Okay.
Is there any other comments from the board then on this? Okay, I'll restate it, that we, excuse me. That the motion is that we approve the amount of $30 to be both accurate as of this date and added to the agreement per our attorney's request. Could we have a roll call, please, Clerk Kern?
Sure. Okay. Clerk Kern, yes. Supervisor Bertrand,
Yes.
trustee Detmer,
Yes.
trustee Monet.
No.
Okay, motion carries 3-1. So I'll get that off to him and I'm sure there's more coming. I agree with you. It ain't quite right, but if that's what they want, that's what they're gonna get right. So. Next thing is the holiday closure dates. You should have, for the next thing in your little pile there. Should be the request from Treasurer Hops about possibly closing the office on December 26th and January 2nd. Those are days we're only open till noon and most employees were taking the days off. The second page is I sent something to our attorney about additional day over the Christmas and New Year's holidays. And then when we did the budget in March, we passed a schedule of our days off. My question to him had to do with if we're going to try and change it, would we have to motion to add those days or create a resolution stating the additional days in motion to adopt? And his answer is right up on the top. You can vote to add or remove holidays or close the office pretty much whenever. There are no rules about when the hall must be open, except during tax collection time. Simple motion is all. And for resident information, I would put it on your website as well. So that satisfied me. I wasn't real sure we were going somewhere we shouldn't. So then motion could be that I'll make a motion that we approve adding December 26th and January 2nd to the dates that the office is closed. I have a second.
To put on for this year. So
I can certainly do that.
it's not forever.
Sure, let me back that up and state it again that way. The motion would be that we approve adding December 26th and January 2nd to the dates this office is closed this year, 2025.
Second.
Well, January 2nd, 20.
Okay. 26, 2025 and January 2nd, 2026. Try that again. Make a motion, we approve adding December 26, 2025 and January 2nd, 2026 to the dates the office was closed. So we have a second on that word.
It's not the bit.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll close that. And I'd like a roll call, please, on this too. Clerk Kern, if you can do that.
Okay, first, Supervisor Bertrand,
Yes.
trustee Detmer,
Yes.
trustee Monet.
Yay.
Is that a nay or a yay?
Yay.
Yay, okay, and Clerk Kern, yay.
Okay, and then the motion will carry it 4-0. Okay, number 3 has to do, this is informational more than anything else. DNR land use permit for Park 27, multi-use trail. We were granted that with very little fanfare. So we are now, we had not in the past had any connection with the DNR doing that as legally as we should have been. So we're now good for multi-use trail. They really like the idea. Parks and Rec Committee has great plans within the grant writing to have informational stops for children. Not on the whole thing. I think the whole thing is 3.5 miles, but in the maybe the initial 3/4 of a mile. They have those stops where there's things that they can read and you can change what's there. Kind of nice. So DNR was liking it and they gave us a permit, no. So we're good. Unless anybody's got a comment on it.
Did you need a copy of it?
No.
Okay.
As long as you get
Yeah.
it. Okay, number 4, this should be the next thing in your little pile of stuff. This is the approval of the Roscommon County Road Commission's carry forward agreement. This is for money not used in 2025 construction. It will be used in 2026 construction season. So I have the letter I got from Neil. And I did already confirm that we're dealing with about $75,000 again next year. For the last couple of years, our budget has been at about $75,000 with the road commission, and that's 25%. They throw in a lot more money than that. But in this case, the amount is in the motion. So I'm just going to read the motion. Make a motion that the board approve the Lyon supervisor and clerk to sign the Lyon Township carry forward agreement with the Roscommon County Road Commission to move $16,940.87 in unused 2025 money into the 2026 construction season. Do we have a second on that?
I second.
Okay. Is there any discussion from the board on this? I think it's, in my opinion, it's, it's leftover money. We move it in. We're gaining on it. I did do a road survey. The way they operate, everything is about 2 years ahead of time. By next year, we may be looking at maybe trying to plug in some kind of bigger project, but it's not going to be now. It's pretty much locked in. So there's some extra money.
Did weather have something to do with it?
I don't know. I was talking with Kevin because I drove around and looked, and the road I was going to suggest they did. They already did.
Mm-hmm.
When I was there, I like how they're doing things. Everything's on a rotational schedule. They check everything yearly. They rate everything. I've done some road work in my day, and I like what they're doing. So apparently, out of the 75 we had, that did not all get used. So bringing it over to next one. Any other discussion from the board? Okay, hearing none. Can we have a roll call on this, please, Clerk Byrne again?
Yeah, let's see what we want those term supervisors. Okay, trustee Detmer,
Yes.
trustee Monet,
Yay.
clerk Byrne, yeah. Supervisor Bertrand.
Yes. So motion carries 4-0, and you and I need to sign this.
Okay.
It should be done with that anyway.
Make a copy and then get it back to you for original.
All right, that'll work. If I don't say something about it, remind me to email it to them.
Yeah.
All right, so we're good on that. Striking 5 and 6 brings us to 7. Updates on health insurance. I wish Kevin was here. He's not. As of now, Pam has been working really hard on this. We are switching over to the CAP benefits group away from Blue Cross and Blue Shield. So it's a Teams meeting, which we can use this right here to do, is going to be scheduled for somewhere right around the 12th or 13th in January. Our current insurance goes to the end of January or the end of February, but it runs out in February. So as far as insurance for board members who take advantage of the insurance, we're down to the wire. He's going to give us what he can do, and we'll have to make some decisions. What I wanted to explain today is, at the same time, we are also working on quoting dental, vision, and accidental life insurance as a possibility for all township employees if they wanted to pursue it. That includes the fire department personnel. I know, John Barta, we had talked previously about our lack of EMT response and fire department. We are trying to crack the door open into making it a much more attractive situation here for younger guys to sign up. If they can end up with a vision and dental, including their family, and accidental life insurance, which they may or may not need. That one's, it may be covered in the fire department. The third thing being a retirement stipend to start that. So we are pushing hard to try and find out. So if it's X amount of money, then this board would need to decide whether we want to free that money up on the fire department village to try and make a better attractive situation to try and recruit some people. We're hurting, there's no doubt about it. So just informational wise, that's what it's about. And I know you know, you wouldn't necessarily want to take anything, but you might want to be involved in this so that you understand what we're trying to do with the fire.
Sure.
Yeah, so if we do a Teams meeting, we can have as many people in here doing that as well. Okay, so that would be coming up, I think, around the 12th or the 13th. Any other comments today on that? Okay, move on to number 8. Again, I don't want to kill this thing today. Trustee Monet rightfully brought up that I had titled this a meeting as a special meeting when it was typically would be a work session. I did send something to you about, in an effort to try and streamline the webpage going into fiscal year 26. When we passed the budget and we put all those dates out, there's a lot. If you look at the other townships and how they do things, everybody does it different. I have gotten to the point now when people say, you know, you can't do that or we don't do it that way. First of all, am I going to jail? Second of all, is there a fine? Because if not, we could probably do different things. So some townships have work sessions. Some have special meetings. Some have board meetings, special meetings, and no work sessions. They don't even like list for their, when they did their budget, they didn't even put things in there. If our webpage is so screwed up that if we could solidify it in columns with drop downs where if you wanted to know township, monthly township board meetings, you could go there and do drop downs and find agendas, minutes, and videos right there. So whether or not they end up being called work sessions or special meetings doesn't matter to me as much as I'd like your help. Streamline it.
Yeah, my point to this is that, once again, because that's me, I was more concerned about the wording because under the Open Meetings Act, you get yourself in a pickle. The minute you call a work session a special meeting, that once it's deemed a special meeting, you are dictated and guided by the state. There cannot be any changes to the agenda whatsoever unless the entire board is sitting here. And I think that would put the board on the hook to call work sessions, board meetings, or anything else special meetings. By leaving them work sessions as a regularly scheduled meeting, then you're not under that guidance of the Open Meetings Act. And you can, with just a simple form, you can make additions, you can make subtractions and such. I just think that if you start naming things special meetings, you tie the hands. Because if I can't be here because of work, Steve has to work, if someone's out, that's it. When people are watching, you cannot change special meetings. It is the law, straight up.
I understand and I thank you. The
I just want our hands tied.
I mean, this
Yeah.
is what started with the attorney telling me a couple of months ago when we were doing work sessions. He said, all meetings outside your monthly board meeting, special meeting. And I, you know,
And
but then when looking at the webpage, I realized, well, that'd make things a little easier here. And then when you look at other townships, they don't do anything like.
well, they're a special meeting to us, but the minute the public sees the wording special meeting, you have the right to demand if we follow the Open Meetings Act. And that means no changes to an agenda, no additions, no subtractions, unless the entire board is sitting here.
Okay, well, I'll be a happy camper if you would offer to help when we get in.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's really all. The whole point is to streamline that webpage. If you want to look at something, look at Denton's. It's colorful, nice lake pictures, big squares, easy to read. 3 of them I looked at all have minutes and you go there and you find them on our webpage. Our webpage looks like, if any of you are familiar with Lord of the Rings, it looks like Mordor. Great picture of the lake, no sun, nothing. So we're gonna get into it, and part of the streamlining involves your
Yeah, that's great.
and what, how you would want things. Okay, anybody else got a comment on that for now? It's coming, because when we do the budget, we gotta name these meetings the way we name.
I do know that I made the board aware of, Mr. Baylor's, statement. He says, they're all board meetings, but there could be a special board meeting. He says, you can't have work sessions, and I brought that back. I said, but so many surrounding areas have work sessions.
I looked today, and I was not finding the words work session, which almost made me think that something happened in the last year. Well, I don't know. We're into it. We're not.
Contact MTA again.
Okay, if no other comments on that. Number 9 was, the grand opening. It's not likely going to happen after the holidays. So the reason it's here is because the intention is to do the work to get that thing to freeze solid as quick as we can. But then there would be, we would notify people on the webpage and the Facebook page, okay, it's ready, you can use it. That would be different than the grand opening. So, depending on the weather, when we get that thing squared away. Roscommon is still fighting with theirs. Markey Township taped everything off and is not plowing the road, so you can't even get near it. We taped ours off and we took all the snow out around it so that ground could freeze easier. We'll still be working on it tomorrow. And then it's a game of wait for Mother Nature. So that's, the point is, grand opening wouldn't be till January, but it might be in use before that. I certainly hope so. On the other hand, there's a big hill there now where kids can sled, so Park 27 is coming along. Okay, last thing was burning barrels at the rink. That's just the thing that might happen. He has barrels he would donate. And with proper lighting, that people could skate in the dark, and in winter it's dark early. Okay.
I have a simple thought about the burn barrels though. Do we have to look at liability? Cause dang well someone's gonna burn themselves.
Yeah, probably should. Yeah.
You just never know.
That's stupid.
Well,
No, there's not. I mean, little kids, it's a thing. I get, he's looking at more like adults would be there later in the evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly have to consider it. Okay, as far as announcements, as I said, the 5-year plan with the survey input included is now available. And we are on the clock to do the steps we need to do and get that thing submitted. And I think it's the same one would get used for a huge Consumers Power one and for the DNR ones. Potential for a lot of money. Last thing, I wanted to mention that GFL, where we were at on that, trying to figure out if we owe, they owe us money. Pam diligently went through everything that she could find and everything that Courtney could give her. The contract, the way it is right now, is it's not signed. But it appears that we have been overcharged from the amount that was on the contract. And her rough numbers were that we're possibly 80,000. Now, that doesn't mean that, so what I'm letting you know is she sent it to our attorney. That's what Mr. Beela wanted, was give me all the information you got. So that's where that sits right now. Maybe something is gonna happen, maybe not.
About 80 G's. Huh.
Yeah,
That's some change.
I'm more concerned with why it's not signed. And
That's,
look
that's
right.
never good.
No, it's never good. Well, especially if it's wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong amount of money and it's not signed, but we're operating under that contract. I don't really even know how that happened. Okay. After all of that, public comment. Anybody's got anything they want to say or stand up and wish us all a happy Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year?
John.
You go right ahead. I'm not sure that mic is on, but if you push the button, something should light up.
John Barta, Lyon Township. Yeah, I do want to wish all you guys a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and hopefully you guys have a good, safe one like everyone else. I just wanted to one comment on first of all, I appreciate what you guys are doing with the health insurance, specifically with the fire department, because for us old folks, it's going to make a difference. My wife and I have an agreement, if something happens, neither one of us are calling an ambulance. We're not waiting. We're just going to take each other up to Grayling, right? It's, we can drive our own meat wagon, right? It's what it turns out to be. And so, I do appreciate the fact that you guys are working on that, but, there's a dynamic here. We've got a population problem. Where are we going to get younger people? How are we going to attract them? That's an issue. It's been a problem for a while. Greg was talking about, the fire chief and his education, and he's putting it off. It's been an issue, and everybody's had a problem with this. So I think that you guys really do sort of owe the residents, while you're doing that, to consider collaborating with Garris, because those guys, it could be an immediate solution for Lyon and for the people here. If we have something like that, it's a cost, but I think that it's worthwhile for you guys to at least explore that, and that you really owe it to the residents here to do that. Because it is an option. I understand, what you're trying to do, but I do think that would be something that you really need to consider.
John, I have a few things to say about that. Now, do you remember a few months ago, we brought up the fact that we needed, or they wanted, let's say fire and EMS both wanted a pay to stay group. We passed this. We passed it in October. We thought it was going to take it. Well, silly me. The board thought it was going to take effect in November. So we had people that were going to be in here in the area so they could respond. And then we passed a different thing for part-time people, and they were going to man the fire station. And we had hours during the day. They were going to be 8-hour shifts, not 10, the way they wanted them. And the latest I heard from him was last Friday and Monday. And I says, do you have a list of people now? We expected it in November. We're mid-December. Do you have a list of people? He says, nobody. And I said, well, something's wrong here. We've got money down there. We got money ready to go. We passed the thing 5-0 for the people of this township. Right now, when we get a call and we don't have the people, we have to pay somebody else to take that run, and there's no money coming in from that run. Nothing to share. So it's just costing us money. That doesn't make any sense. So this is going to have to come to a head as well. It's just, why not? We're going to have to start a whole new recruiting program, I think. We had the best of intentions for this thing. It didn't pass 5-0, but it did pass 4-1. And we thought, okay, this is what we're going to do for the people here. We've got somebody not at the fire station on weekends, but in the township, so they can respond. And the fire department, oh my goodness, there could be lights on. People could see the doors open. What the heck? Would it sound like a new? It hasn't happened. And I'm, for one, sorry, because I was one of the spearheaded things to say, and I want this program. And I convinced enough of the people on here that we would pass it, and we did, and nothing has happened. So I apologize for that, but I can't do more. I think the new program we need is to get some people in. Maybe we'll have a big shift in hierarchy around here. I don't know.
If I may, John, so to Clerk Kern's point, I mean, I remember sitting here and I asked JC specifically if we passed this, and we did, was he ready to roll? And he said it's all set and nothing's transpired. But aside from that, so I've been approached by residents in the last month. And I'm not sure where I'm going to go with it yet. Like, kind of do, but I'm waiting until after the holidays. To your point, they want me to, because I have a good rapport with Brian Hill, and they want me to open up a dialogue with Brian Hill about exactly what you're talking about. And I've talked to other people on the fire department that come to the store regularly, and I know quite well. And I'm not opposed at all, with the help from these residents, to open a dialogue at all. Not opposed to it whatsoever. The writing's on the wall that if something can't be done, then I don't know how much longer this township can just wait for something to happen. So, to your point, so
And I appreciate that. And that really, that, you know, it's not that you guys aren't trying to do anything. I'm not, please don't take it that way. You know, it's just to be able to delegate to somebody and expect that something's going to happen and not have it happen is very frustrating. And I understand that. So,
I have some additional information. We've been here a little over a year. We've gone through a progression of different versions of how to try and fix this, and none of them have come to fruition. But consistently, to me, it's about the recruiting. When it is stated that it doesn't work, but Lake Township, who actually has 100 less residents, has a 19-person fire department. That's why if we bolster the benefits of being on the fire department, that we may be able to recruit. Now, it doesn't take much rocket science thinking to come to a conclusion that's almost a do-over. If you're trying to push for that many new people to come in, certainly running parallel with this is if we sign an agreement with a surrounding township or two to take over our stuff. They are primary. That will cost us money, but they won't charge us as much as they charge us to do it individually when they're the ones who end up on the scene. So if we can't get on the scene 4 out of 5 times, we're not far from looking at the possibilities of something else too. So I just want you to be aware that parallel to this whole thing is exactly what you're saying. An agreement with a neighboring township may, and I'll only throw may, I'll be out there in this.
sure, absolutely. And I appreciate that as one of the, you know, residents that, because I mean, it just, it needs to happen. It really does.
And one more thing, John, I've thought about this and I've talked to people quite a bit in the last month at the store, of course. You sometimes have to take a step back, and I have just looked at the whole situation. You're going, okay, other than recruitment, I get it. More benefits, I get it. This, and this. Why? And then you have to start looking internally, in my perspective. There's got to be a reason why, other than benefits, because Garish, from what I'm hearing, does not offer such great benefit. There's a reason why people will migrate to Garish and want to spend hours there, but they don't want to stay here. That's internal. And we as a board need to start looking at that.
There certainly could be culture issues, that's for sure.
One additional thing that I think we all agree on, because we agreed there before. We are the people responsible to fix this board. There's no shove it off on somebody else. We've tried a couple of different things, but it's for the residents. It is us who needs to fix this.
Indeed.
I agree. Thanks,
Happy
John.
holidays.
Yeah, you as well. Thank
Yeah,
you.
same to you, man.
Thanks.
Well, Samuel, I know you sat there a long time. Nothing? Not even a Merry Christmas?
Probably a humbug.
All right, anybody else got anything they want to say? Yeah, we had a formal hearing or a formal review of her appeal. And the end result of that was the board did not support giving her any money back on. And she went into lengthy explanation as to why she thought she should. And we gave our opinions, and that kept it legal. And the final vote was
4-1, and I was the
4-1. that we were not going to grant her appeal request. And actually, I think that the set of minutes that has that in it that we approved tonight in the consent has that in it. I'm sure it does. Okay, anything else? All right. Once again, safe and happy holidays.
Please be careful in the parking lot.
Do
It's
we
a
have
nice,
a
like-
motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All right, all those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same. Okay, adjourn at what time you gonna?
8:15.
Okay, yay. Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you this, because everybody else kind of knows. I went out to the ice
Did
rink.
you need a copy of this to give us the DNR?
The permit has
it.
I know ice.
It's available if you need it.
And I'm checking, I'm thinking, okay, we got about 3 inches. And I wasn't real sure if it's 3 inches on top or, you know. Anyway, I walked around the whole thing, but then when I went to come and get off.
Yeah.
I broke through.
Yeah.
And I would, shit, this.
Almost round.
Well, that's the funny part. So we were talking today, it's on,
Merry Christmas, Karen.
yeah, Merry Christmas to you. It's gonna be on tape.
Oh,
And I said, we gotta pull that tape up, cause I'm like a flounder and dinosaur out
Very
there. See you, Steve.
He came back in,
oh, my.
his pants were all wet, his boots were so.
But it probably took me 2 minutes to get out of there without falling flat into it. Well, it's like, you know, I'm 73, I move like a damn ancient dinosaur. Anyway, when I get him to pull that up, you'll have to check that out, because it's gotta be hilarious. It has to be hilarious.
So now when somebody just set it to some really catchy music, like they always do on TikTok.
Yeah, somebody post that, it has to be hilarious.
That one got up.
Yeah, it was cool how Phil said that, you know, it's like today, maybe. Yeah. He's a funny guy.